Pilots are expensive, but they're not that expensive.
You lose the benefit of home advantage if you're over the channel.
Attack, 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 attack. Rapid disintegration of the French army.
What Hitler knows is he's got to subdue Britain somehow. They seem to be on their knees.
Yeah.
How can we deliver the killer blow? And that's the challenge for them.
Welcome to Walking the Ground with me, Al Murray, and James Holland here, stood precariously close to the cliffs right by the Battle of Britain Memorial. And why? Well, welcome to our series about the Battle of Britain, the titanic event of the summer of 1940.
Decisive, war-changing events.
Yeah, history-making, world-changing, the first true defeat of the Hitler war machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to take you through, 12 films, aren't we?
Yep.
Going through all the different aspects of the Battle of Britain, hopefully from start, hopefully to the finish. And in all sorts of incredible places like this, like Biggin Hill, like Duxford, like Northolt, like Bentley Priory, and the occasional random field in Kent.
Yes.
So, there's lots to talk about though, isn't there, Jim?
Yeah, there absolutely is, but we're going to kick off, aren't we, with the Kanalkampf.
The Kanalkampf, yeah.
Yeah, the battle that took place just over there across the channel, across the little canal, the river crossing.
Yeah. And of course, because that's the very, very sort of first nibblings of the Luftwaffe once France has fallen, isn't it?
Yes. So France falls in the third week of June, and the British are kind of thinking disaster. They're kind of expecting Fallschirmjäger, German paratroopers, to be dropping out of the sky any moment. Yeah. But of course, it's not as simple as that for the Germans, because most of their air forces are in Germany.
Yeah. And not only that, the Germans are as surprised by this turn of events as anybody else. Yes, the British are panicking, and Chips Channon is burying his Fabergé eggs at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah.
But the Germans are as...
And Harold Nicholson's contemplating suicide.
Exactly.
Should it come to it.
The Germans are as off balance by this incredible success they've had in France. The rapid disintegration of the French army and the retreat and evacuation of the British. It's no one's expecting any of this.
Well, at this point, you know, what Hitler knows is he's got to subdue Britain somehow.
Yeah.
You know, Britain's got away at Dunkirk. They seem to be on their knees. Yeah. How can we deliver the killer blow? And that's the challenge for them.
Yeah. So as Churchill says, the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin. But not quite, Winston.
Yeah.
Hold your horses. There's stuff to come before what we know and we call now the Battle of Britain actually gets going. And it's the fight here in the Channel. It's
the skirmishes of July, known as Kanalkampf by the Germans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So actually, although the British are pretty worried about imminent invasion, the Germans have got quite a lot to think about, haven't they? They've got quite a lot to organise, quite a lot to think about. In fact, actually, what they've got to work out is what their strategy is now.
What on earth they're going to do? I think us lying here in the grass pretty much replicates the Luftwaffe crew at the moment.
Yeah.
They're sat around in the sunshine by the Channel waiting for someone to figure out what they're going to do next.
Well, whatever they're going to do to defeat Britain, they've got to defeat the RAF. Even Hitler understands it. If you're going to do a cross-channel invasion, which seems to be the next plan, you have to have air superiority. You cannot do a cross-channel invasion without superiority.
Well, air supremacy, really. You need the other side not to be able to move a muscle.
Right, so challenge is to destroy the RAF. But they've also got to work out, you know, if they're going to do a cross-channel invasion, how's that going to work? You know, so what Hitler's really hoping is just that sort of pressure will make the British come to their senses.
Yeah, well, they've all, but because the British have already, I mean, yes, the army, the BF has got out, but they have lost in Europe. You know, the attempt to...
Their ally has lost.
Their ally has lost. Their
France.
attempt to refight the First World War has failed, and the Germans have achieved in a fortnight, really, what took them 4 years to fail to do in the First World War.
Exactly that.
So just as they're exuberant with their success, they're probably expecting the British to be despondent. And what you need to do, as you say, you apply pressure. And the way to do that is to bring the battle to the RAF, defeat the RAF, and then hopefully not have to invade. Because let's be honest now, the Germans aren't really best set up.
And I mean, the other thing is, I really do think that everyone sort of thinks that Hitler is incredibly decisive. He's not always decisive. There's quite a lot of time where he just doesn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out, he's surprised by the speed with which all this has happened.
Yeah.
So he has his big triumph in Berlin at the beginning of July. Then he goes down to his country place, the Berghof in Berchtesgaden in the Bavarian Alps. Then he's got the Beirut Wagner Festival in the third week of July to go and attend.
Of course.
So in that middle bit of July, he's in the Berghof, and first of all he gets the Navy, the Kriegsmarine to come down. And he says, okay, so if we're going to invade Britain, what's your plan?
Yeah,
he says, well, let's do it on a really, really narrow front, maybe near Deal. Then he calls on the army and says, okay, so what's your plan for it? And they said, well, what we need to do is invade on a really, really broad front from kind of Dover all the way to Lyme Regis in Dorset, which is basically most of the southern coast of England.
Yes.
And then he goes to the Luftwaffe, what's your plan? He goes, oh, well, we're just going to destroy the RAF.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, well, off you go then. And it's really odd that they've got the world's first combined services general staff in the OKW, the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, which is inherently a sensible idea.
Yeah.
But they don't have a combined services planning team for the invasion of Britain.
Yeah. Because they
haven't thought of it.
But the idea of invading Britain is so alien to the German continental warfare mindset.
Yes.
You go...
Well, they haven't got any of the kit. They haven't got any landing craft. Landing craft don't exist in 1940.
Yeah. So,
on any side, frankly.
So what they're going to do is use barges.
Yes, they've got a Seedle ferry.
You're going to tow some barges. I mean...
They're Rhine River barges, and they don't have enough motorised ones. So one motorised one is going to tow two unmotorised ones. I mean, can you imagine? But anyway, so they're sort of loosely planning for Operation Sea Lion, but as a head start, get the ball rolling, let's destroy the RAF.
But the Luftwaffe has to reorganise itself, move in from Germany, because after all, it's been fighting across the border, across the German-French border all this time, and into the Netherlands. And now it can move, so it's got to move lock, stock and barrel down into France, down into Flanders, basically. Fighter bases in the Pas-de-Calais, and that's a big effort. Very difficult to do that and operations at the same time.
That is the big problem. The fighter bases is the big problem, because the bomber bases they've got, because the French have got airfields, the Dutch have got airfields, the Schiphol at Amsterdam, that's a bomber base, that's fine, that's even got some proper runways there. So, it's that's not the problem. The problem is what you do with the fighters. And the problem with the fighters is they're very short range. So you need them as close to England as you possibly can get them. And that basically means just over there.
Yeah.
And so that means the Pas-de-Calais, but there aren't any airfields. Well, there's Calais Mark, but that's it. So you then need to create all these extra airfields, which are grass airfields, but that means you've got to requisition them from the French. You've got to clear some space. Then you've got to bring in some anti-aircraft guns to protect them.
You've got to bring fuel and parts
and
up.
stores
and
tents and everything else. And all the things that you require to keep a fighter group functional. And then you've got to get the fighters there. And that doesn't happen overnight. So this is one of the reasons why the Kanalkampf is a bit of a slow burner.
Yeah. And anyway, is the amuse-bouche. You're not going to defeat the RAF by nibbling away at convoys. You've got to go get them. And that's what they end up reasoning, isn't it? They've got to attack air bases. They've got to destroy the RAF if they can on the ground. The way they did the French Air Force on the morning of May the 10th is the truth. They're thinking, we reprise that. How hard can it be?
Well, we'll give it 3 days, maybe one extra day for luck.
Yeah.
For Lloyd's.
Yeah. Because they're winning. And, at this stage, winning is its own reward, right? And that winning brings about more winning. So much winning. There's
definitely a mood of hubris. Meanwhile, the British are also getting ready for the assault that's going to come.
So we're going to go survey the port of Dover.
Yes.
And look at where that battle was played out.
Well, and one particular action one convoy that got absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
Just out at sea over there.
You know what? I'm too relaxed now. We'll get there eventually.
Shall I tell you what? Shall I go get you a cup of tea and a Kit Kat first?
We'll just get there eventually. I mean, what's the rush?
Yeah, I know, it is rather lovely,
yeah,
isn't
exactly.
it?
It's all happened already.
All I need is a skylark to start twittering and I'll be...
it's 85 years ago. Yeah. What's the hurry?
Yeah. Oh, it's rather blissful.
It's perfect.
Well, it's good to see there's a number of ships out there. Can you see France?
I can see France. I'm sorry to report, still there, sir. I mean, the channel is busy today. I mean, it's container ships these days, isn't it?
But very busy in July 1940 because at this point, Britain hasn't really had its convoys attacked particularly, and certainly not its East Coast convoys. And the East Coast convoys are important because they're the trampers and colliers that are coming down from the coalfields of the northeast of England.
Coals from Newcastle.
Coming down into the largest port in Britain, which is the Port of London.
Yeah.
So they're still doing this.
Yeah.
And as the Luftwaffe are arriving in the Pas-de-Calais and into northern France, so they're pushing out and attacking these convoys because they seem an easy target. And they think, well, the point is to both attack those convoys and wreak havoc that way, but also draw in the RAF.
Yeah.
And so you have these incredible battles during July. I suppose the worst one of all, the most notorious one of all, is CW8, Convoy West 8.
Yeah.
And as it's passing through the straits here, Straits of Dover, on the 25th and 26th of July, it's a 21-ship convoy. Largest one is only 351 tons, so it's not. They're not big ships. They really are. They're trampers. Yeah. 9 out of the 21 get sunk. You know, most of them on. I think 6 on the 25th, 3 more on the 26th of July.
So that represents considerable pressure on the RAF Fighter Command to do something about that.
Yes, and
So Hugh Dowding is the Commander-in-Chief of Fighter Command, and Keith Park, who is running the tactical battle in the southeast.
And the problem is for Park and Dowding is they know this is not the main event, and they also don't want to be, you know, you lose the benefit of home advantage if you're over the channel.
Yeah.
Because you're falling into the drink.
And they want to literally keep their powder dry.
Yeah, so they're sending out half squadrons. Park is sending out half squadrons, just a flight of 6 planes at a time, a sort of token effort. And this is one of the reasons why these convoys are getting absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
The consequence of that is actually a completely major rethink. Well, okay, we're not going to do East Coast convoys anymore. Yeah. We'll just have to go around Scotland. We'll have to expand the ports of Merseyside and Cardiff and so on, and Bristol.
Yeah.
And get around that way. You know, which has its own huge logistical headaches, which means, and also means that more coal has to be transported by train and railway. You know, so it has knock-on effects.
Yeah.
But it is solvable.
But these are the decisions that Dowding's making. I mean, he's already refused to send his squadrons to France, hasn't he?
He hasn't refused. He's strongly recommended against it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. These are the decisions he's having to cut in order to make sure that when it comes, the defence of Britain is going to work. Yeah. Because he doesn't want to squander squadrons, basically.
Yeah. But you know, these early forays, when Dowding is eventually writing his dispatch, he says in many ways the Battle of Britain starts when the war begins, but this is a dispatch, I've got to give it a date, so let's just say for argument's sake the 10th of July, but actually there was some pretty heavy fighting over the Channel on the 9th of July, for example, and on the 8th and the 7th and 6th. Yeah. So, you know, it is July when things start hotting up, but the Battle of Britain proper hasn't begun at this point. This is early moves, early forays. You know, anyone in Dover would absolutely see the contrails in the skies, but would also see these ships surrounded by, you know, huge, great kind of spumes of water as they're being bombed by Stukas.
Yeah. But it's simply opening moves.
It's simply opening moves. But a hell of a view from here, though, isn't it?
There's lots to sink out there, I've got to say.
Yeah, but it is amazing. Just through the haze, you can see France.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, well, God help you if you went down halfway across.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to land in this.
No, not much. I mean, we're in the middle of the Solent here, so Portsmouth is over there, the Isle of Wight's over there. You know, you've got plenty of options in that regard.
Look that way.
Well, yes, obviously. But I think what's really striking is that, you know, we're quite low in the water, obviously. We haven't got the elevation to look for people. But you know, this is needle in a haystack stuff, looking for someone who's ditched, right?
Well, you know, the Germans were sort of arrogantly saying we're going to regard this as a river crossing. I mean, yeah, maybe it looks like a river from 24,000 feet, but when you're actually on the surface, this looks like the Pacific Ocean, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's interesting though, because the German pilots talk about how flying out to sea, particularly in a fighter plane on your own, you know, basically the horizon and the sky close in on each other. They did, so you're flying into grey, particularly in bad weather. You can't work anything out really. You're on your instruments. You don't know where you are. So immediately you're disoriented. You'd rather not be flying over the sea. But if you've got to ditch, if you've got to put down in this, and first of all you've got to survive that, because it's really dangerous. Yeah. You know, because
lots of strong currents in the channel and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is that the Germans are building up in this period. This period of July 1940, they're building up their troops, and they're just starting to kind of sort of needle away, test them, trying to draw the British fighters away from their home base, out over the water, attacking convoys. Yeah. You know, just starting to kind of make a nuisance of themselves. So the problem is that the dangers of flying over water are so much greater than flying over land.
Yeah. Well, and this is why Dowding basically is not going to send planes out over the channel. He doesn't want people pursuing, returning German aircraft going back across the channel because he's worried about losing pilots in the sea. And I think one of the things with the Battle of Britain that gets talked about a lot is the home advantage. As far as he's concerned, that the moment you're over the water, that home advantage is no longer in play.
Just to be absolutely clear, that's because if you float down in a parachute, you land in a field, you can be flying again after kind of a cup of tea and 4:30 in the afternoon, you're back in your spit again.
Exactly. But if you land here, you need to be
discovered.
Someone needs to know that's even happened, right? Then you need to be discovered. Then you need to be rescued.
And you are a pinhead.
Yeah.
In this vast expanse of water.
I'm not going to take that personally, Jim. I'm not a pinhead. One is a pinhead in this situation.
But I mean, look at the casualties for July 1940 for the Luftwaffe. 348 aircrew killed.
Yep.
Another 300 lost. Prisoner of war, disappeared, missing, whatever. I mean, those are huge casualties. It's about 150 for the RAF, but these are substantial figures.
Yeah. And this is even before what people tend to think of as the Battle of Britain. The stuff over England has got going properly. And they're attacking shipping and a little bit of the odd coastal airfield, but basically, because the sea's involved, the RAF are trying to restrain themselves.
Yeah. But why Fighter Command even going out at all? I mean, that's the point. I mean, why are they protecting the convoys? Why are they taking the bait?
Politics, isn't it?
It's partly politics, but it's also because they are trying to shoot down Germans as well. The fewer they've got when the main attack comes.
But also they don't know for sure what the main attack, what the strength of it will be, when it's coming, if it comes. And this is the encounter the Luftwaffe is offering them. And for all we talk a lot in this series of films about the defensive attitude of Dowding, but the RAF's attitude is attack. The Trenchard principle is attack, right? And so you've got an awful lot of people who've imbibed on that particular spirit.
Yeah.
And they get up in the sky and there's a Stuka. What are they going to want to do? Pursue it, shoot it down.
But just imagine you're a pilot. You're in your 109 or your Spitfire, or whatever it is. You've been shot down. You managed to bail out. You've survived those moments of terror.
Yeah.
You've successfully floated down. You've then got to do the snap release on your harness because otherwise the parachute's going to drag you.
Yeah.
And drown you.
Yeah.
Then you've got to float around. You've got to May West if you're British.
Yeah.
You've got a flying jacket, perhaps a bit more.
Which
if you're German.
I mean, these are modern life jackets that inflate on contact with the water.
It's not going to keep you up for long. You've got heavy leather flying boots with sheepskin lining. And
you might be wounded as well.
And 80% chance of not being picked up.
Yeah.
Those are dark thoughts you're having as you're bobbing around.
Well, and the RAF hasn't gone to town on provision for picking people up either, has it?
No.
We're going to put that politely. Because after all, you're not meant to be here being picked up out of the sea, are you?
No.
Pilots are expensive, but they're not that expensive.
Yeah. Harsh but true.
Harsh but fair. Still, I mean, the Isle of Wight does look rather lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah, very pleasant.
Yeah, it's the 1950s over there.
Yes. That's exactly who ever knew.
2025 over there.
Yeah. I need to get to the Isle of Wight quickly.
So the Kanalkampf reaches its climax here in Portsmouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really, really does. I mean, July and into the first kind of week and a bit of August 1940 is very much the kind of hors d'oeuvre. It's the kind of the start of it all. It's a sort of early forays. But that period, it comes to an end. And actually it's appropriate that we're here because on the 12th of August, the kind of last day before Eagle Day, the attack of the Eagles, Adler Angriff.
Yeah.
Major attack here on Portsmouth.
Yeah. And interesting, the German newspapers are basically saying, right, this is it. We're gonna finally whip the English into shape. We're going to overwhelm them from the sky. Our knights of the air of the Luftwaffe will score a decisive blow, knock England out of this war finally.
Yeah. The expectation is that they'll destroy the RAF in 3 days.
Yeah.
They've given themselves 4 days just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, of course. But there's several things they're up against, aren't they? Which is, first of all, the weather. The weather may not necessarily play ball because you need clear skies
Yeah.
or clearest skies possible for this sort of thing, right? So they've got the weather to contend with, but there's also something, and everyone knows in this country the weather very rarely plays ball, right?
Yes, but there's also something else.
Yeah.
And it is the something else on this side of the channel that we're going to be looking at in the next episode.
So go to WWII headquarters.com and watch the rest of it. Simple as that.
Battle of Britain. Walking the ground, Battle of Britain.
Absolutely.